I made ChatGPT take a GMAT test, and in this video, I will share the insights I learned and the chatbot's final GMAT score. First, 30 seconds to explain what the GMAT is. It's a standardized test that 250,000 professionals take every year as a requirement for admission to business school. It's an adaptive exam. This means question difficulty changes based on your performance. There are 4 sections on the GMAT. A 30-minute essay, a 30-minute section that tests chart and table interpretation called integrated reasoning, a 1-hour quantitative reasoning section, and a 1-hour verbal reasoning section. Only the last 2 sections count on your final score. That is on a range of 200 to 800, 800 being the highest score. An average GMAT score is 570, the top 1% is 760 plus, and a 700 plus is considered competitive at most schools. Here's what I did on the different sections. I pasted the essay prompt into the chatbot, and the response was quite decent and it was fast. Even though the essay was not amazing, it would certainly receive at least an average score in my books. I did not test the chatbot on the integrated reasoning section because the questions require interpretation of various charts and tables. A response requires providing answers in table form or selecting from a drop-down box. And this section is not really included on the final score, so I felt okay skipping it anyways. The quant section includes 31 questions, so I had to copy-paste fast. There are 2 question types on this section. Problem solving, so your standard multiple choice question with 5 answers, and data sufficiency. A question that includes 2 statements for which you need to determine whether the question can be answered conclusively using either statement or both. This is a very creative question type unique to the GMAT, and I thought that it would present more of a challenge to the chatbot, but I will share my results in the end. What is impressive, however, is the ChatGPT's response. It not only gave me an answer, but explained its reasoning as well. The verbal section is 65 minutes long and includes 36 questions. There are 3 question types. Reading comprehension, so a long text with 3 to 4 questions. Critical reasoning, that's the analysis of an argument or statement of facts. And sentence correction, basically a sentence that may include incorrect or inefficient usage of language, and if so, a choice to correct the sentence. Now, the actual test is about 3 hours long, but it took me longer to complete. I was using the free version of the chat. I exceeded some load limit sometimes, and I had to wait before I could use the chatbot again, in which case I paused the exam while waiting for the chat to be active again. Nevertheless, the chat finished the test with time to spare. Now, are you ready for the results? And here they are. Even though it scored below the average GMAT score, it did really well on the verbal section, scoring almost in the 70th percentile. Now, that is impressive. I expected the chat to perform worse on data sufficiency than problem solving, but at first glance, it seems that it struggles on questions requiring high-order reasoning or logic, regardless of the question type. For example, testing of scenarios and using minimum-maximum solving strategies. I will perhaps dig deeper into that in a later video and share my insights. Now, what does this mean for the GMAT and other standardized tests? In the short term, should I worry about my business? I think I should. Even though the chat performed poorly on the quant section, I didn't really engage with the bot on its performance. I did give clear instructions for every question type, but I think it could do better with a little coaching. In the next video, I will first attempt to train the bot before giving it another mock test. In conclusion, I think OpenAI's chatbot will ultimately provide many affordable coaching opportunities. I think it is good enough to complement my business for the moment, but will require a few iterations before it begins to replace businesses like mine. The greatest challenge in standardized test prep is finding a good study plan and determining whether it's working, which requires time. Now, the power of ChatGPT will certainly create an abundance of prep material, which will create an added burden to find the right product. So you would still need a coach. So I guess the issue is one of trust. At what point will you begin to trust the bot more than a human? I really cannot answer that question yet. Now, I do think ChatGPT provides an immense challenge to standardized test makers like the GMAT, SAT, LSAT, and GRE. As you saw earlier, the bot performed very well on the verbal section, which is a notoriously difficult section to improve on. Any test maker offering an online version may need to put in certain measures to prevent using the OpenAI chatbot. I do see the integrated reasoning section as a potential temporary solution. The numerous charts and tables required in a question make it very difficult to use the chatbot. But this is a technical problem that can surely be solved by OpenAI in the near future, I have no doubt. Now, just to be clear, I used an official GMAT mock test, not the real thing, so GMAT, please don't give me any heat for this video. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it insightful. If you have any feedback or comments, I would be more than happy to hear from you, so please feel free to comment below with your ideas. Until the next video, this was Ayham Chakra from GMAT Buddy.